Okay, so good evening, everyone. So welcome back to our session. In today's class, we are going to discuss about. Good evening, sir. I'll discuss about RDS and CLA together. Okay, so let's wait for a few more minutes. Other people might come today. Like, so let's wait for a few more minutes online. I'm gonna start this one. Okay. Fine. I think so. We can start now. So in last class, we have speak about IAM, right? So in today's session, we are going to speak about CLI and RDS. Okay. First of all, what is the meaning of CLI? It's a command line interface actually. That means generally till now we worked with AWS console, right? So instead of working with AWS console, what exactly we will do, we will try to work with the command line interface, which bring all of the services to single place. So here, if I open this document, it will be CLI. So CLI, the AWS CLI is a tool that pull all AWS services together into central console, giving you easy access for multiple AWS services with a single tool. That means with the help of the single CLI, what you can do is you can work with multiple tools. You can work with multiple. That means with buckets, you can control the buckets, you can control the servers, you can do like what exactly, like whatever you want. Okay. So it cuts out the user friendly but time consuming phase of interactive with the system through graphical user interface. That means instead of working with AWS services from GUI, we can type commands and that commands will work for me. So if you want to create a bucket, how can you create a bucket? Go to S3, click on create bucket. So here give the name of the bucket and automatically bucket is going to create it. But instead of working like this, if I give a command, AWS S3 MB name of the bucket, automatically that will create bucket for me. So this is the GUI method. That means everything perform from graphical user interface. But apart from working from GUI, we can work from CLI will do the same work as GUI. Okay, but here we need to give some comments. Okay. Now, what are the main advantages when you use with this one means? First of all, it is very easy to install, supports of all AWS web services, and it can save a lot of time. Not in all cases. Sometimes it will save the time, and sometimes it is gonna kill the time actually. I'll show you when it is gonna save and when it's gonna kill the time. So now if you go and see, so now to work with this, first of all, let's create an EC2 instance. Over running and try to create an EC2 instance. And one more thing, by default, in AWS we have CLI by default. So we need not to install. But in future, for example, if you want to install CLI, how to install CLI? CLI download. This type CLI download. That's for AWS. AWS CLI download. If you see install or update the latest CLI, right? By default, this server will have CLI, sir. So, but if you want to update latest or if you want to install separately, type like this and go for which operating system. Are you seeing these three commands here together? Run these three commands. For Amazon Linux, by default, CLI will be there. But for Ubuntu, default CLI is not there. So definitely we need to install them at any cost. Now CLI is installed. If you want to check, where is your command? User local bin. So AWS-version. See the CLI version here? It's 2.15.8. Okay. So now here we're gonna create a user and we're gonna give permission and we're gonna give configure to the user. Why? Because here this server needs some permission to work. For that purpose, I'll create IAM user, which already you know. Tell me the process of creating IAM user. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Next. Full means all access. Administrator access. Okay. Create user. Done. So now go here, create security credentials. Already know this point, right? Case and secret keys. So I'm using it for yes. Next. Create. Download this file for a further reference if you want. Now, how I attach this access key and secret key for my server? Already in KApp says it. How to attach access key and secret key for your server? Hmm? How? Hmm. AWS configure. Which one? If you run this one, it will ask. You said that it is on file, right? But if you want to get the file, first of all, you need to run the command AWS configure. Otherwise, it won't get. Okay. JSON table. AWS. Concept clear now? So now see, for example, in my AWS console, I want to see the list of buckets. What I want to see? So how to work with CLI means there is a specific syntax we can use for AWS. First of all, let's divide this AWS CLI into three parts. How many parts? Part one. It is your part one. It is your part two. In part one, you need to mention your cloud. What is my current cloud here? AWS, right? In part two, you need to mention the service name. Which name? Currently, I'm working with buckets. Bucket means next year I need to give sub command. What is the command to list? CPA. ls list command. ls copy means CP, right? Remove means list sub commands. Cloud name, service name, sub command, right? So now tell me if I want to list AWS S3 buckets, what is the command? First of all, what is the cloud? Next, S3 is service name. ls means sub command to list. Do you have any buckets over your AWS account as of now? What is telling? Couldn't connect to endpoint URL. Fine. Right. We go to here buckets. See the list of buckets like this. How many buckets you are having? That is the reason why it is showing like this. But can we create a bucket here normally? I'll create a bucket manually. Create a bucket on US East 1. Bucket name will be gone. So now see. Right. Oh, it is not configuring. I need to check the credentials and configure. VM.aws configuration. US is to an output. Oh, wait. Basically, here for output, I configure the region, and for region, I configure the output. Small mistake I done. Fine. So output I want on which format? Table format. And here region, I need to give US East 1. The smallest mistake I done. Okay. I haven't seen this one properly while configuring. No see. You'll get the buckets. Are you getting now? Sir, I want to see what is inside the bucket. AWS S3 LS, give the bucket name. What is my bucket name? Raham bucket 007788. Are you seeing what is the content there? As of now, do you have anything? No, that is completely empty. So we can put some content for our clarity now. If I go here, click on upload, add files. Upload three files, any files for my clarity. Are you having the files here? This one. Are you seeing these three files came now? So instead of working from CLI, from GUI, from where I'm working now? CLI. So cloud name, service name, and later that we need to give subcommand. Clear the screen by using Control L. Sir, now what is the command to list the buckets? Can you tell me? AWS, right? That's the command. Now, if I want to create a new bucket, it is very easy. Tell me the syntax. S3. Now to create the bucket MB. MB means make bucket. For bucket name S3 colon slash slash. Whenever you want to define a bucket, S3 colon slash slash. Give this bucket name. But here instead of double eight, I am putting double nine for my clarity. Now you can see the new bucket. How many buckets you are seeing now? Two buckets, right? So in second bucket, I want to see the list. So instead of MB, can I put LS? Clear now? So sorry if I want to delete that bucket. Instead of MB, just put RB. MB for make bucket. RB for is the bucket gone now? Now check it out. How many buckets you'll be having, sir? How many buckets you are having? Now let's again create one more bucket. So to create, tell me the command. Hmm. 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 So to list AWS S3 LS, to list what is inside the bucket, AWS S3 LS bucket name, to create the bucket, MB, to remove the bucket. Clear now? Currently, how many buckets you are having? Two buckets, right? So understand it very carefully. Sir, in this bucket, we have the file. In this bucket, you have this file I want to get to my local server. Which server? In that case, how you can give is, what is the command to copy? S3 CP, copy. I am copying a object. Where is the object in my bucket? S3 colon slash slash. What is my bucket name here? Raham bucket 00 7788. So it is my bucket name, right? Okay. In this bucket, which object you want to copy? I want to copy Mumbai PEM. Which one? If you don't want to give like that, select this one. Are you seeing copy S3 URI? This and that both will be same. If you want me to show, I'll show you it. First of all, I'm showing you manual. Okay, this I have given normal, right? But even though if you don't want to give like this, what exactly you can give is copy S3 URI, paste it here, right? Same thing or not? What is telling, sir? Of course, like you don't know the error, fine. You are copying the content from this so and so bucket. I am copying the content from so and so bucket from Mumbai key, but I want to provide the destination. What exactly I want to provide? To where I am copying to my current folder. Put dot. If you put dot, is it configured to current folder or not, sir? Are you seeing Mumbai PEM here? See the command cat and name of the file. Seeing PEM file or not? Same PEM file what we generate. Okay. The command to copy object from S3 bucket to our local is AWS S3 CP source. Source means from which bucket and what is the file name. Destination, you want to copy to which folder? I put dot. What is the meaning of dot? So write this command, all of you. Very, very important command. Definitely this command you will be using on real time. That's what I'm sure. All of you read this command. Is it clear now? Mm. So now see this point. For example, in my local, I'll create a file. Already, if you go and see in my local, I have a file and I have a folder. I'll create a new file. VIM raham.txt. Save this file. Sir, now tell previously copied the file from bucket to server. Now I want to provide vice versa. File is on my server now. I want to copy it to bucket. So to where I want to copy it? How can I copy? Same. Tell me the command first of all. S3 CP. What is your source here? Raham dot. To which bucket you want to copy? Give the bucket name. Destination. S3 colon slash slash. I want to copy it to my this bucket. Raham bucket 007788. So this I want to copy. Okay. Source and destination. If the source is file, first of all give file. Source is bucket. First of all give the bucket. Okay. Hit enter. Automatically that will be copied. Are you seeing uploading done? Go here and click on refresh. You will be getting a new file called raham.txt. Have you seen this one? Download this one. Open the file. Seeing content here. So in this way, you can copy the files from bucket to local and local to bucket. Here local means server actually. So from server to bucket, you can copy the files as well as from bucket to server also you can copy the files with the help of which command AWS S3. So these two commands will be very, very important in your real-time aspect. Definitely these two commands you're going to work in real time, sir. So don't forget these two commands. Are these two commands clear now? Fine. So source and destination. If you want to copy a file from server to bucket, what is the source here? Server. That means you need to give the file name actually. What is the destination? Bucket. Give the bucket name. No, sir. I have a file in the bucket. I want to copy it to my server. What is the source here? Bucket. What is the destination? Server. Okay. That's it. Now see how many buckets we'll be having here? Two buckets, right? In bucket one, you have full content. You see this one. AWS S3 LS. But before that, I shown you how to copy the file, right? But if I want to show how to copy the folder, one entire folder I want to copy, put the folder. Are you seeing AWS here? It's a folder, sir. Instead of file, what I'm putting? AWS S3 CP, I'm copying the folder. AWS S3 CP, I'm copying the AWS folder for this so-and-so bucket. Hit enter, it is gonna fail. Why it's gonna fail means here I need to give hyphen recursive. Why? Because for file, we don't need to give recursive, but for folder, definitely we need to give. Is it copying or not, sir? It takes some time. Why? Because we have a lot of subfolders, right? Wait for it. You know how much of data is transferred till now? 130. Total, we need to transfer 132. And you know how many files we transferred till now? Almost it's 1000. Like 1004 files we are transferring. That is the reason why it is taking this much of time. I'll show you like how, like you can see there. At the end of the class, tell me, I'll tell you demon set, okay? Last class I said I'll teach about demon set, right? I'll teach it today. Just remind me. It's taking more than expected. Okay, it's almost about to end. So sure, Varsha, I'm gonna take some separate session on resume building actually. Okay. I'll just not give you the templates and ask you to build your own resume. I'll just explain how to build your own resume. Okay. There will be one separate session for this one. How to build your resume. Don't worry about this. You go ahead and say click on refresh. I got the folder now. I got this folder now, sir. Go to this folder. And if I want to see this CLI, it's my folder what I have copied till now. Select this one. Go for actions. Calculate total size. What is the size almost all you are getting it? Still refreshing. How many files had been copied? 6009. That is very huge files actually. And what is the total size? 96. That is the reason why it took this much of time. Okay. So if you go and see, still going. I don't want to make it. I'll just stop it here. Control C. Okay. It's taking more than expected time. But it is the way how you can copy the folder. When the folder you want to copy, you need to give hyphen hyphen because right. That's it. Okay, sir. Fine. Then now, like my requirement is, for example, let's consider like I have two buckets. How many buckets? One bucket is completely having a lot of files and second bucket is completely empty. So if I want to transfer or if I want to shift the files from one bucket to another bucket, so how we can do? That's what the main command. So trust me, this will help you a lot in real time. In real time, you can save a lot of time. Are you seeing all of the files on bucket number one? In bucket number two, are you seeing anything here? Empty, right? So AWS S3 sync, I am establishing sync between two buckets. From this bucket and to this bucket. Automatically, the files will be transferred from bucket number one to bucket number two. Hit enter just. The transfer will be very speed, okay? It will transfer the objects very speedily. See? It's almost still transferring with the rate of 6.7 MB. Like before we copied the files, right? There it is almost like up to 1 MB per second. But now you see how much of MB per second? 4 MB per second. And previously I have seen like 7.9 MB per second also. Just now only. It happening very speedily or not, sir? So that's it. What is the command to transfer the files from one bucket to another bucket? AWS S3 sync command. So definitely it is going to transfer the files from one bucket to another bucket. If you don't want it, so just you can use stop. Sir, already for bucket, you know the concept of versioning, right? Currently I create a bucket, but versioning isn't enabled. So if you want to enable the versioning, how can you do? Go for your bucket. Select the bucket. So here go for bucket. Properties. Are you seeing versioning here? Versioning is for this bucket. Versioning is, yeah, if I want to enable the bucket versioning, generally what you can do, edit, enable. But this I want to do from CLI. Where I want to do from? In CLI, how it is gonna possible? First of all, I'll stop it. Why? Because again, it will take some time. So I'm canceling this one. AWS S3 API, put bucket versioning. Put bucket versioning. For which bucket I want to put the bucket versioning? So and so bucket. Okay. Hyphen versioning configuration status. In status, it should be capital. Status is equal to, I want to enable it. What I want to give? Automatically it will enable status for my bucket versioning. Wait. AWS S3 API put bucket versioning. Oh, here I need to give hyphen bucket. So your hyphen bucket is missing. Hyphen bucket. Already, if you remember this command, I performed on KOps. Same command there and here. AWS S3 API put bucket versioning hyphen bucket. Name of the bucket versioning configuration status is equal to enable, right? Go and check now. Currently it is. If you want to disable, give up arrow. Instead of enable, just put disable or suspended. Disable won't work, sir. For bucket, we need to suspend the versioning. Already I said this point, right? You forgot. Suspended or suspend. Suspend or suspended? CSPENDED. SEO? Yes. Is it gone now? Go here and again click on refresh. Currently it is enabled. The moment if you click disable, sorry, refresh, it is gonna suspend it. Clear or not, sir? So in this way, you can play with the bucket. So now is the using of CLI with buckets clear for all of you? And of course, if you want to delete an object from bucket also, you can delete the object. Okay, but we don't do. Why? Because tell me one thing. Sir, just I'm telling logically, for copy, for sync, for creating, we can use the CLI command, sir. But if you go and see, if I want to enable versioning, I need to remember this much of command, right? Sir, instead of remembering this much of command, I can click simply edit or not, sir. Then why to remember that one, sir? Memory waste or not, sir? Already we have only one core, this much of core. In this much of core, we have the cinemas, we have the cricket, and we have what SAR is doing, and we have what others is doing. Everything we are going to store. So let's save some memory by using this normal GUI method. Okay. For all commands, no need to use CLI. Only for few commands. In these commands, whatever I said for you, copy command will be useful. Sync command will be useful. And creating also might be useful. But this is not useful for you. Trust me. Okay. So you can do like this. Is the concept of buckets clear for all of you know? How to use CLI commands. In real time, copy, create, delete, sync. These are the frequently used commands from S3 point of view. Why? Because I used on my real time and I'm saying the same thing here, whatever I used. So this is the commands actually. If you want to remove an object, AWS S3 API, delete object. What do you want to give? From which bucket? Give the name of the bucket. And here key. Key means name of the file. Versioning ID. That means we need to delete the versioning ID of that object also. Like that. Sir, you said that with the help of AWS CLI, we can control the multiple. We can control what are multiple objects or services. Services. Currently, I shown you how many services, only S3 service. But apart from S3 service, we can also control with this one. For example, sir, I want to list the buckets. What is the command? ls. So now I'll give AWS EC2 describe instances. The moment if I give describe instances, it is gonna show me completely how many instances are running for me. Okay. Just type this one. AWS is to describe instances. How many instances are there for me in my console? It will show. How many it is showing? How many it is showing? Hmm? Nothing, right? Logic question I'll ask, logical question. Currently, if you go to here, just see how many servers I'll be having. How many servers I have, sir, here? Lot of servers, right? But why it is not showing, sir? Ah, you stopped it. Okay, fine. I'll start one server. I'll start one server. See, what is the server status now? Pending. Wait for a few seconds. I'll give the same command. Again, you won't get any output. I'm telling you, you won't get the output. Why, sir? Currently, it is nothing. You will come. No, sir. Admin access I have given, sir. Admin means what, sir? Full access or not, sir? Yes, sir. Then why it is not coming, sir? Think logically. I configured which region, but servers are in which region? Mumbai region. It is mistake or not, sir? If you go to Northern Virginia, in Northern Virginia, you have nothing. Like servers are not running here. You don't have any server. That is the reason why it is showing. Now, can I create a new server here? And can I see the output there? Of course, you can. I'm just creating an instance without any specification. Server created now. Okay. So now if you go and give the same command, now this server details you will get. For example, even if I want to give name, I'm giving the name as Raham. I'm giving the name as Raham. You will get the server information now. Are you getting or not, sir? What is the name of server? Currently it is on which state? Security group name is created on which region? So public IP, public DNS, everything you are getting, correct or not, sir? Like that, sir. Currently, if you go and see, now this server is on running status. Which one? Sir, for example, if you want to stop the server, okay? AWS, EC2, stop instances. What I want to give? If I hit like this, I need to give instance ID. Currently, what is the, like, if you are having 100 servers, which server you want to stop? You need to provide the ID for that server. Copy this, paste it. That is going to be on stop state, which currently it was running. Click on refresh. It's going for which state? Stopping. Stopped or not, sir? So now again, if I want to start, same command, but instead of stop, what I'm gonna put now? Automatically it will be on start starting state now. Go here, click on refresh, it will come to pending now. Right? Wait for a few seconds. What is the state now? So even if I want to reboot, you can put reboot. But if I want to delete it permanently, I need to give destroy instance. What I want to give? Stop, start. It won't happen. We need to give terminate. If you go to here, which option you can see? Start, start, reboot, hibernate, and terminate. Do you have destroy? No. I hope it is clear for you, like Venkatesh. I just shown you how to delete the instance. If you go and see here, click on refresh. Is it gone now? In this way, you can able to delete it. So in this way, you can able to work with instance also, sir. Sir, now apart from instance, if you want me to show any other service, for example, of course, with the help of CLI, you can create instance also, but you'll be writing this much of command. No need to write that much of command. We can create manually. Or if you want automation, I'm going to teach you Terraform. In Terraform, I'm going to show you how to create the EC2 instance with the help of a script actually. Okay. In real time, use Terraforms to create the infrastructure. Now, I want to work with IAM users. AWS, IAM. I want to show the list of users. AWS, IAM, user. LS, can I give a? Won't. Saying anything here? First of all, you need to mention that service name. AWS, IAM is a service, right? So you need to separate them. AWS, IAM, users. Users next. Space LS. No. Two arguments are there. Na? AWS, IAM, list users. List users. You're seeing the list of users now? You can see it very clearly now. Are you seeing list of users or not, sir? No, sir. If I want to see list of groups, AWS, IAM, list groups. As in the list of groups, how many groups we'll be having now? Can we create one more group in yes, of course we can create. Let me show you. AWS, IAM create group. Hyphen group name is equal to AWS. I'm going to create a group name called AWS. Now the group name called AWS is created. If you want to see list, AWS, IAM, list groups. See the list of groups now? No, sir. If I want to create a new user, AWS, IAM, create hyphen user. What is the name of the user? Raham. So, but here when you want to give the name of the user, so just put hyphen username. Raham S. I am giving. So automatically you can get the user called Raham S. If you want to list AWS, IAM, list users. Done now? Are you seeing Raham S user here? So in this way, you can perform the operation with the help of this one also. If I want to list the roles, am I seeing list of roles here? Roles. Service role. Okay. And this is also service role. Like every role you can see like this. That means completely, instead of working with CLI, sorry, GUI, can we proceed the work with GUI or not, sir? But again, instead of working with all commands, we work only few commands. Why? Because tell me one thing. What is the command to terminate EC2 instance? AWS EC2 terminate hyphen instance ID. Sir, for instance ID, definitely you need to go to the console, right? Whenever if you go to console, instead of copying this instance ID, drop down, click on terminate. Automatically it is gone or not, sir? There is a method, but it doesn't mean we need to use this only. Right? Like that. For example, the best example is like, see, you have an onion. If you want to cut the onion, you have the axe and you have the knife. Axe can cut the things and knife can cut the things. Which one will you choose, sir? Of course, you can cut with axe also, but are we going to use axe for cutting the onion? How foolish it is, sir. Here also same thing. You can use, but not recommended for all the things. Clear now? So this is the concept of CLI, command line interface. Okay, so this document already I have uploaded on your Google Classroom, so you can take it. So next concept is going to be your RDS. Which one? Have you ever heard about RDS? What is RDS? Database, right? So my question is why to use database? But before that, online is the concept of CLI clear for all of you? Can you please confirm? Okay, so it was all clear from everyone. Thank you guys. Thanks for your response. Fine. So next year, which concept I'm going to tell you? What is RDS, sir? Relational database service, right? Why we need to use RDS first of all? Tell me this comment. To store the collection of information. What about S3? Hmm. Okay, and what about EBS? I'll ask you basically, it's a question for the interview people, not for, sorry, it's a question for experienced people, not for fresher. But I'll explain you like how you're going to define this one. Paint, let's take the paint here. First of all, take a bucket. Okay. Next, take a EBS volume. And finally, take a RDS database. Okay. These three are used to store the data only, sir. Objects. S3 bucket will be storing the data without server level. Do you need server for S3? Want to store the data on cloud, but don't want server. Use S3 bucket. Want to store the data on the cloud, but with the help of server. That means I want to store the data inside server only. What you are going to use? EBS. Sir, want to store the data inside the server, but I want to store it on a key value pair. That is a structured pair I want. What I want to store? So in that case, you can use the concept called RDS. For example, I have a file. In this file, I have the username, password, and user ID. I have. If you store an S3, you won't get only username. You will get the full information. If you store on EBS, again, you won't get only username. You will get complete information. But in RDS, if you want only username, you can get only username. If you want to get the password, you can get only password. And you want to get the ID, you can get only. The main intention of RDS is like apart from using S3 and EBS for storing the data, why people choose to use RDS means RDS will store the data on rows and columns. That is table structure. Which one? When you store the data on tabular structure, you can easily retrieve the data and you can easily store the data. See, in S3 bucket and EBS volume, we can store, but we cannot retrieve what exactly we want, right? And there will be no proper structure even though. For that purpose, we need to use the concept called in real time. The main purpose of using the RDS is to store the application information and user information. These are the two major things, application information, and second one is to store and retrieve purpose. Already we seen on 3-tier architecture, right? In 3-tier architecture, first one is web server. Second one, third one, what is the example for web server? What is this one, sir? Apache. What is the example for app server? Tomcat, right? What is the example for database server? MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle, MariaDB, Percona, and Aurora will be there. ArangoDB will be there. A number of things, okay? Like that. So now tell me, why we need to choose only RDS apart from S3 and EBS to store data? It can be able to easily retrieve the data. Fine. So RDS creation will take only a couple of minutes. How many minutes? But I'll explain the concept very clearly and I have given the documentation also. Documentation you can read for reference, but see the concept, how I'm going to explain. And with the help of RDS, you can create the cluster, database cluster. That means one primary database, two secondary databases. We've seen cluster, right? One master node, two worker nodes. Here also, we can create one main database, two server, like worker databases for your clarity, okay? Click on databases. Currently, are you having in database? Create database. So to create the database, I'm going to explain each and every concept, like each and every point. So observe here carefully. First of all, how many types of methods you have? Standard. Standard means you set all of these configuration options, including availability zone, security, backups, and maintenance. That means you choose every option. But easy means it will automatically recommend the best one. First one is your choice. Second one is recommended choice. So definitely we're going to go with standard only. So coming to the engine types, how many type of databases you have? So previously there were 7 databases available, but now new database came. 8 database will be available now. Aurora will be there. Aurora will be there again. First Aurora is for MySQL. Second one is for Postgres. Third one MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM. These are the database engines, simply database types we can call it as. Okay, flavors of database simply. So as of now, I am selecting Postgres. What I'm selecting? Now, if you want MySQL, just select MySQL. That's completely fine. It doesn't matter which one you are going to select. After that, scroll down. Edition means MySQL Community Edition. I am telling here known issue or limitation. Review the known issue or limitation. That means if you use this one, there will be some limitations. Just know what are the limitations. I don't want any limitation means I need to go for Postgres. Currently, what is the latest version of Postgres, sir? 15.4 R3. If you see, are you seeing 12 version? Are you seeing 11 version before? Are you seeing 14 here? So definitely we need to prefer n minus 1 almost. So current one is 16.1 is the latest. But what is the selected here? 15 point, not latest version, almost all n minus 2. That means stable version or not, sir? Select this one. It is telling that read something is written here. Create a multi-availability zone database cluster with one primary DB and two readable standby instance. Already I said one master node, two worker nodes. Here also one primary database and two secondary databases. Standard means like sir, standby means secondary, optional. Okay. Multiple availability zone database cluster provide 2x faster transaction. That means the transaction is going to be very, very speed. Transaction means giving the input, taking the output. That is what we can call as transaction. Okay. Like that. So coming to the templates, sir, you are creating the database for which environment? Is it for free tier purpose? Is it for developing and testing environment? Or is it for production? In real time, I create for dev and test and for prod. But for practical purpose, you can go for, what is the advantage? You know, if you select production purpose, this option will be available. You can create single database. You can create multiple availability zone database. You can create multiple availability zone database cluster also. For production, these three options will be there. For dev also, you can see these three options. But for free tier, you have only one option. Only one you can create. So in real time, we need to go for production. I'll select multiple availabilities on DB. Don't create cluster. Cluster is going to very, very huge cost. Of course, it is also huge cost, no? But you don't believe. For our real-time work, you know what is the RDS billing we'll get per month? Forget about RDS billing. You know what is the average billing we'll get per month for AWS? Just think logically how much we can get. Based on like usage on like I'm asking you to expect a figure. How it can be, how much it can be. 20,000. How much? 1 or 2 or 5? How much, sir? Can't? Can't predict. Okay. Just give a rough estimation, right? So let's take, I have 8 servers, 2 databases, auto scaling group enable, snapshots are there, SD buckets are there, like how much it can be, and VPC also. You won't believe if I tell the value. Okay, we'll get back this topic later. After I show you the billing of RDS, I'll tell you, okay? Hold your nose, okay? So here I'm selecting multiple availabilities of database instance type here. Coming to the settings, what is the database identifier database? Username will be Postgres. So password, you'll be having 3 options. First of all, manage by using AWS credentials. No, auto-generate password. Are you seeing auto-generate password here? So go for auto-generate password. No, if you want to create your custom password also, you can create your custom password. Okay, so you can select this anyone. Availability zone cluster or availability zone database instance. Now see, sir, for database instance, we are going to use EBS types. db.m5.large. That means how many CPs will I get? How much of RAM? It is the least actually, what you are seeing. In real time, we use this one, dbm5 2x large. That means 8 CPUs and 32 GB of RAM. How much? In real time, we use that one. And you can select standard, You can select memory optimized and you can select burstable also. So I'm going with standard as of now. Storage type, provision you want a general purpose, you want a magnetic, you want a which one I need to select, sir? Tell me. Why general purpose? EVS volume concept I said. Uncle and daughter and marriage function, WhatsApp, snapshots, screenshots. You remember this concept? Ah, provision. Ah, correct. What? Why provision, sir? Why? Because whenever if you want to open her photo, you need to tap on it. Directly need to come without buffering. Here also the same thing. If you want to transfer the data very speedily, if you want to perform read and write operation very speedily, definitely we need to go for provision. If you go for magnetic, very low operations. Don't go with it. What is the storage I am taking here? 400 GB. Minimum must be 100 GB for RDS. Minimum. Okay. Maximum you can get 65,536 bytes. I mean, like bytes means GB actually. Sorry. What is the value? 65,535. I'm sorry, 36. So IOPS input output will be like 3000 read and write operation per second. Storage auto scaling. For example, if storage is not there, for example, initially you took 400, sir. It is out of storage. If I want to scale the storage automatically, go here and 1000. That means initially you give the value of storing 400 GB. But if data is very huge, automatically it is going to scale till 1000. How much? 1000. If you want to scale for 10,000 also, you can scale for 10,000 GB. I'm talking about. So coming to the connectivity, you have two options. Don't connect to EC2 instance and connect to EC2 instance. Of course, you can connect to your server later also. In previously, like few years ago, this option is not there. First you create the RDS, then you connect the RDS to your EC2 instance. But now these guys gave a option to connect to your RDS server directly. So currently I have one server or not, sir? Go here, connect to EC2 instance, choose EC2 instance, click on refresh. Do you have any servers on Northern Virginia? No, but if you have any server, click on this. No, sir, if I want to create new server, create EC2 instance. $2 billion. Varsha, our one is startup Varsha basically. If they had 2 billion, if they can afford 2 billion per month, why I leave that job, sir? They'll pay me very high, right? Oh, again. Fine. So now is this server ready now? What you can do is for this server directly you can launch, like attach your EC2 instance. Previously, you don't have any servers running, right? Now if you click on here, go back to the PS tab, click on refresh. Are you seeing any new server here? Not yet. Why? Because server is still not running status. Which status? So you need to wait for a few more seconds. Currently it is on running, right? Click on refresh. Are you seeing the server now? Now see, whatever the configuration you applied for server, same network configuration will come to here. Same VPC, same subnet, everything will be automatically applied. And public access, do we need to give public access for database? No, sir. It is very blender, sir. So we cannot give. So go for VPC security firewall. If you are having a security group, you can select the security group. No, if you want to create new one, create a new one. That's it. Database authentication. That means if you want to log into database, I need to give the password. But apart from password authentication, you can put IAM database authentication also. That means you can log in with the IAM role for database. Or if you want to put some high-end, you can use password and Kerberos authentication. But basically, database password authentication is more than enough. Okay. Monitoring. So here I am taking the retention period of 7 days here. That's fine for me. Scroll down, additional configuration. So if you want to give any additional configuration, you can give it here. Okay. But I am not giving any additional configuration. Are you seeing delete on production? That means if you enable this one, by default, your database will not be deleted. Okay. We need to disable the production, then only we can able to delete. Sir, what is the cost, sir, here? 1739.52 US dollars. This is per month. How many? I am writing USD in INR. What is the value? 1,44,594 rupees 0.47. That is the value. Again, that is only for database, sir. Only for the cost that we got for our AWS account for single client. I'm talking about 35 lakhs per month. How much? Even though our one is startup and our application is monolithic application only, not microservice, we got the billing of 35 lakhs almost all per every month per each client. So you can expect like how much the billing is going to be. Of course, we can optimize the billing also. It's better. If you maintain on-prem, now for on-prem, you don't get any billing. Why? Because on-prem is everything we are managing, right? You just buy the server, you just install it, you can use it whatever you want. Okay. So one of the main reason why AWS users are decreasing in this modern days is due to the cost only. If you go to GCP, GCP will give almost all 40% of discount on it. Almost all 40% of discount. Like depends upon the service type. So that is the reason a lot of people shifting to GCP in these days. Okay. So if you click on create database, now your database is going to create. But again, after creating, I'm going to terminate it immediately. Why? Because it's going to have a lot of billing. Okay. So it will take some time to create. It will take at least 2 to 3 minutes in a least case. Currently status is what, sir? So wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. We'll discuss how to connect with it. And again, if you want to see how to connect with database, so go here and type AWS Postgres connection with EC2. In official documentation, they will give you the steps. Are you seeing the official documentation here? Go to official documentation. In the official documentation, you can see connecting to the EC2 instance. Postgres, right? Click on this. Are you seeing these comments? First of all, you need to install these comments. After installing these comments, you need to take the endpoint and you need to give the name, and there will be a PG admin. PG admin means it's the graphical user interface for connecting the database. Okay. So these tools you are going to use it on real time. No, sir, if I want to connect from database, I mean like CLI, this is the command you need to run. Okay. So your database, so it will take a lot of time to create actually. If you go here, currently what is status? Creating. We're seeing endpoint here. This endpoint will get later. You can check the configuration here. Okay. But again, database I'll show from not from RDS. There will be some more concepts for you. So in that project, I'm going to show you how to create database, how to build the base database, how to list in MySQL only. Okay. Here I just shown you how to create database with RDS. So if you want to delete, so once it is created, it will take some time to delete. I'm showing how to delete now. But guys, I'm requesting you after the session is done, please stop your database servers. Why? Because unfortunately for a class, I shown my real-time database creation. I got the billing of almost all like 1,96,000. I forgot to terminate for a few weeks. I haven't realized the database is running still. Here you are getting almost all $1,700. But for that configuration, what I selected, I got the billing like $2,500 per month. I just shown them how exactly I create with same configuration as this. Okay. But I got $2,500 of USD billing, but I forgot to terminate, sir. So how much of billing I got? 1,96,000. How much? Sir, if you get the same billing, what you will do, sir? Heart attack. Huh? Correct or not? But it doesn't affect me. You know the reason why? Know the reason why? Basically, it's not my account, it's my student's account. Like one of your batch. Okay. So for every batch, if my account is suspended, I'll take account from one of the students and I create RDS there. So that guy called me and said, "Sir, have you checked the billing?" No, no. Like he said that, "Sir, I got the billing of 2 lakhs." No, no, no. Wait, wait, wait. 2 lakhs or you get 20 rupees? No, sir, 2 lakhs only. No, no, ma. For after that 200 rupees or 2000 rupees, you will have dot symbol and dot 00. I think you forgot to see that dot. For example, like if you take 2000, right? You take 2000. For this 2000, how you will get the billing? 2000 or like 20,000 dot dot. I'm telling that you missed this dot, I think so. Check it carefully. No, sir, I got the 2 lakhs billing only. Can you please check? And he sent the screenshot me on Telegram. That was really 2 lakhs billing, actually. So it happened. But unfortunately, your money will not going to deduct. Why? Because you can suspend your AWS account. What you can do? And even though if AWS people debit or you like debit your money, so you can contact the customer support and you can ask them to refund. Why? Because if you are doing it for the very first time, they will give you the money back. Okay. So don't worry about this kind of actions. So now it got created and it is still modifying. So once it is done, go for actions and go for delete database. Are you seeing delete here? Currently, it will not be deleted. Why? Because still it is under modifying state. Which one? It will take some time for it. So this is the concept of RDS and CLI. In tomorrow's class, we are going to learn about VPC. What I'm going to teach you about? That's it. So is the concepts clear for all of you today? How many we have discussed today? Two. First one, CLI. Second one. So online are this RDS and CLI both clear for all of you? Can you please confirm? If it is done, I'll tell one extra topic on Kubernetes for you. Okay, I'll try to cover two mostly. Online, is it clear? Fine, 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 fine. Great. So now what I'll do, I'll try to install Minikube. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll tell about few Kubernetes topics. First of all, I'll start daemon set. Then I'll start about replica controller. You know replica set, right? But you don't know what is replica controller. Now I'll teach you both in today's session. But for that, just give me a couple of minutes. Like I'll try to arrange this one. Minikube. Here I am using guys. Remember, here I am using single node cluster, but in practice you need to use multi node cluster. Okay, why? Because for corpse creation it will take 10 minutes. Okay, so I cannot explain the project. I mean, like a concept. So for my usage, better purpose, I am using here Ubuntu of Minikube. You know the deployment code, right? Do you know deployment code? Deployment code and daemon set code both are going to be same actually. Like if you want me to show, wait, control F. So deployment, right? The only difference between the deployment and daemon set will be deployment can create n number of pods, correct or not, sir? But daemon set will create only one pod. How many pod? Let's take you have a cluster. Let's take you have a cluster. In that cluster, you'll be having 10 worker nodes. How many worker nodes? For each worker node, this daemon set will create only one pod, only one for each node. So in real time, what is the use case? Means, for example, if you go and see, it's my cluster, it's my master node, and these two will be my worker nodes, right? For example, in daemon set, how many pods is going to create, sir? For each node, you'll be creating only, and in master node, you won't create the pod basically. You'll create on mostly worker nodes only. Okay, so how many worker nodes I have? That means this daemon set can create a pod on your worker node number 1 and a pod on worker node number 2. Only one pod. But deployment is not like that. In a single node, you can create n number of pods for deployment. That is for deployment. But now here I'm talking about daemon set. Daemon set means only one per node. In real time, what is the use case? What is the main use case? Means, for example, see, metric server? I said on COPS. What is the purpose of metric server? To get the metrics of CPU and memory utilization of pods, right? Let's take metric server. Sir, in this node number 1, I have one pod. In this node number 2, I have one more pod, right? For example, in this node number 1, I have 10 pods, and in this node number 2, I have 10 pods. How many pods? 10, 10. If I want to get this 10 pod CPU information, memory information, in this server, I want to install a metric server. Only one metric server per node is enough or not, sir? And here also, I want to install a metric server on this node. Why? Because to get the CPU and memory utilization of these pods from these server pods. So instead of going installation of metric server for each node in the cluster, what you can create is you can create daemon set. Whenever you create daemon set, each pod is going to place on each worker node. And in this pod, you have the metric server. Where you have the metric server? In the pod. Basically, instead of going for each server manually, and if you install, it will take a lot of time. For example, you have 5,000 nodes. How many nodes? In 5,000 worker nodes, how much time it will try to install metric server, sir? It will take almost all 2-3 days, right? Instead of installing metric server for each and every server, I'll try to install metric server from the pod actually. Already, Kubernetes components we can place like a pod. If I create a daemon set, this daemon set will create only one pod for one server. If I have 5,000 servers, how many pods will be created? In that pod, what you will be having? Metric server. Automatically, it will correct your CPU information, memory information or not, sir? Like that. Now, currently, as of now, here I am using Minikube. What I am using? VM, raham.yml I'm going to give. And one more other thing is with the help of daemon set, you can also use for logging and collecting agent. For example, for each and every server, you'll be having logging agent. What will have? Most use case of daemon set is for login and what we call logging and monitoring purpose. Which purpose? So the only difference between deployment and daemon set is, so here you don't have app/v1, you'll be having only v1. Instead of deployment, what you going to write here? Daemon set, DAEMON SET. So replicas don't give 3. Replicas will be only 1. Here I'm taking a label as Swiggy and everything I'm giving, right? So here I'm taking Nginx image, but you can take whatever image you want. Give the command kubectl create -f raham.yml. See what will happen now. What is telling, sir? Swiggy-rs. It is telling that daemon set for v1 it is not matching. Why? Because for daemon set, let's check what we need to give. Kubectl API resources. Right? What you are searching for now? Daemon set. Tell me where is daemon set here? Daemon set. For daemon set, what it is? But what I tell you? Only V1. That is the mistake. For replication controller, you will be having V1, but for deployment, you can write app/V1. Again, what is telling? Daemon set in version V1 cannot be handled. Cat raham.yml. Here I have given API version V1 or app/V1. But still why it is coming, sir? Just check it one more time for daemon set. For daemon set in kind, what I need to provide? Daemon set. DAEMONSET. In S, it is capital or not, sir? Here also I have given capital. But why it is not working? Why? Because for daemon set, you need not to use labels and selector. It is not required. Why you are using labels and selectors, sir? To manage multiple pods. But here you will be having multiple pod or single pod, sir. Single pod per cluster. That is the main difference. If you want me to show the official documentation, you can get code from official documentation also. Just type daemon set. Go to official documentation. Here you cannot see the labels and selectors in general. If you go ahead and see, let's take an example. Wait here, daemon and sets. Let's take any of the example. It's the official documentation. What I'm referring is, of course, you can create from two methods. First of all, you can create from imperative method, and second one is declarative method. See, kubectl create -f daemon set. Here I have something. I have the daemon set actually. Just I'll show you, okay? But better like do not use this one. I'll use my own daemon set. I think I have the daemon set code. Wait. For which batch and where it is. Wait. Troubleshooting. I have the code for my previous batch, so I can use it for here as of now. Troubleshooting, where is this? Yeah. For replication and controller, I have. Where is daemon set? Where I have given this one? Okay, let's take the code from official documentation better. Because in official documentation, you have very lengthy code. That is the reason I'm using this example from other. Again, it is also official documentation. Okay, fine. Let's take this one. I'll use still here. It is fine for me. Don't want any other. Yeah. The reason why I'm not using official documentation code means there you will get a lot of confusion. Okay. To avoid the confusion and to make it work is I'm using this one. D1 set app/v1. So here name I am giving. Name I'm using as Fluentd. Namespace is not required here. Fluentd is for like basically there is a concept called ELK and ELF, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Fluentd. Basically, it is to collect the logs of different servers. Okay. So here, if you see same code like deployment or not, sir, same code like deployment. But what is the main thing here? Here, this the image is missing. Like we use our custom image, but here I'm using some other image. Now, if you use kubectl, get envo. How many worker nodes do I have? Only one node. Kubectl create -f raham.yml. Okay, namespace we need to remove it. Basically, it is creating the namespace called login. I need to remove this one, otherwise it won't work. Is it created now? Give the command kubectl get daemon set. Are you seeing daemon set now? How many pods created? One. Why? Because I have only one node. If you have 10 nodes, how many pods will be created? 10. So this is the use case of daemon set. Remember, if you want to create a single pod on each of the worker nodes for Kubernetes, which concept we're gonna use? Again, for multiple pods, you can use deployment. Okay. So what are the use cases of daemon sets? Logging and monitoring as metric server. Okay. So for these kind of activities, generally we prefer to use the daemon set. That's it. And by default, the daemon set we cannot delete directly. Why? Because you'll be having only one pod for one server, right? It cannot be recreated automatically. Why? Because you'll be having only one pod for one server. That's it. So tomorrow I'll tell about one more concept called replication contour. Okay, just like this, I'll try to cover one more concept till AWS ends. Huh? You want to see the logs? Server logs, huh? Okay, fine. So if you want to see server logs, already we discussed. Where is your logs is going to store? CD. Already I said this one. I think so. CD var log, hit enter. You will be seeing all the logs. For example, see, whenever you run a command called dpkg, it is to install packages. You can get the logs. Give the command tail -f. Give the logs. You seen the logs, no? That means whenever you use the dpkg, there you can get some logs. Or not, sir. For example, if you install Apache, for Apache you can get the logs. Let me install Apache here. apt install. I want to give Apache 2. Logs are nothing but it is going to store the events happen while performing that operation. Okay. Now currently what I'm installing, when you install Apache, are you seeing the logs? All of these logs is going to store on a log file. Where it is going to store on? So what is the log file here? If you give ll, are you seeing any new log here? Where it is? Apache 2, right? So go to cd Apache 2. But before previously I came here. Do you have Apache here? That means whenever you install package only, then only you can get the logs. cd Apache 2. Here you can see the logs. Are you seeing access.log? Are you seeing error.log? Like that. Okay, so it is going to show the logs of Apache. No, sir, I want to see apt logs. That means whenever you run apt command, what just happened? If I want to see, just go to cd apt. ull. Are you seeing the history.log? Tail -f history.log. It is going to tell what you have done till now. Okay. At this time, you started your server. And after that, you ran the command apt install get to install Docker, right? And if you scroll down, at this so and so time, you install Apache. Correct or not, sir? It's going to tell what exactly you have done on the server till the date. At this so and so time, first of all, you install Docker and later you install Apache. If you install one more package, it will show the starting date and it's going to show the starting time as well. Clear, no? That's it. Yes, Terraform is still pending. So after AWS is done, we're going to start the Terraform. Why? Because to start Terraform, you need to know AWS services. Okay. Why? Because these services you are going to create automatically with the help of Terraform too. I'll try to cover tomorrow, mostly if it is. Okay, why? Because tomorrow I'm going to start VPC. It will take 1 hour for VPC. And last 30 minutes, I'll try to cover this one, PV and PVC. Okay. Even though it's not a part of your syllabus, but as per my promise, I definitely cover you. Okay. So I'm going to delete this one. And already documents I have given on your Google Classroom. Have you checked this? Sir, when is screening test going to be held? That I'm not sure yet. I'm not yet sure. So I'll intimate you. So whenever screen test is going to happen, we're going to tell you on Telegram channel. Okay. So definitely we're going to intimate you. Online, still any doubts or any queries you are having? You can ask me. Yep. Stateful means which is going to store the entire history of what you have done. Stateless means it won't store anything previously. Simply, if you call to a person, you have the call record. That is stateful, which is maintaining the previous information. Stateless means it won't maintain any information of previous application. Simply. Again, I'm telling Kubernetes is a very vast subject. It will take only 3 months to cover Kubernetes. Only Kubernetes I'm talking. But here it is a general DevOps course, right? So how much of Kubernetes required? I covered only that much. Ansible, I taught you in depth. Jenkins, I taught you in depth. Docker also, I taught you in depth. Even Terraform also, I'll taught you in depth. I'm going to taught you in depth. But Kubernetes, in general DevOps, not only me, anybody cannot able to go for in depth. Why? Because it's a very vast subject. If you want to go for Kubernetes in depth, your DevOps course will go for 6 months almost. How many months? Even though if you put the course for 6 months, how many of you joins are here? Just tell me. Okay, I'll teach the perfect subject if you want. I'll put the course as 6 months. How many will you join here? None of you, right? Why? We want jobs very quickly. Within 2 months, you need to complete the course. Within third month, you need to get the job. And within fourth month, you want to get the bike. Huh? Like in general, I'm talking, okay? That's it. Okay, then, but screening test, I'm going to let you a few days before Vaishnavi. Don't worry. For all of you, we'll be having Telegram channel, right? So in Telegram, I'm going to post, like not me, like our admins will post regarding the what we call screen test. But as per my thinking, like currently batch one is going for placement, right? So after that Pongal, we're gonna conduct the mock interviews for them. So we will send them first. If all of those place it, so we'll try to schedule the batch number two. That too again we need to discuss. I'm just telling like what are my views on it. My views. Fine. Okay then. So thank you everyone for joining for today's session. So let's meet on tomorrow's class. Have a great day. Bye all.